Hello everyone and welcome to another contrast paint video and something a bit different for you this time. Today we have a miniature from Fallout Wasteland Warfare which I did an unboxing of. This is one of the Super Mutants of the 3 that come in the core box. This one's equipped with 2 pipe pistols, the cobbled together guns that you get in Fallout 4. I'm not a fan of them personally, but this Super Mutant apparently is. So he's equipped with 2 of them and an aviator cap as well, which he gets for free within the rules of the game. His base is slightly uneven. So you might see him wobbling a little bit. That's not me that's done that, it's just a slightly uneven base. I guess during the molding process. It's the only one that's like that typically, but this is the one I want to do in this contrast paint video. And I have tested what I plan to do today already on one of the other Super Mutants, which we can see here. This is the Brute with a wonky sledgehammer that I wasn't able to straighten fully. But this was my test scheme for the colours we're going to use. We're going to use the exact same colours. If you're wondering how did you do so and so on this, you're going to see on this one, except maybe the dirt on the base. Oh no, he's got a little bit of dirt on his base, like there. It's mostly concrete on this one, it's just by chance. The bases are very nicely detailed for these. So essentially, as far as contrast work goes, the main colour on offer today will be this one, Militarum Green, which I'm going to need to shake because the pigment is separated again. One of the bad ones for that, but the application is good. And this is also one you could have used if you wanted a more Marvel Cinematic Universe colour for the Hulk rather than the comic booky brighter warp lightning that I used in that video. So that's going to be used as skin tone, and that's probably the first part we're going to do. Then for the pipe pistols, wormwood, probably all over. Then I'll just touch up the bits that aren't meant to be wood with lead belcher silver, which is also going to take up the majority of the armour. And he has a bit more armour on than this one. He's got some skulls on his belt. That will be done in Skeleton Horde. And then the base, the silicon grey, maybe a little bit of wildwood on those planks of wood there. And the dirt is again some more snakebite leather. I didn't say snakebite leather for the guns, did I? I said wildwood. I meant snakebite leather. And afterwards, to make it look a bit more grimy, it'll get a liberal coat of Agrax Earthshade over everything that's been painted silver, just to give it a kind of mucky look. Same with the ground as well, to make the dirt look a little bit dirtier, because it is post-apocalyptic nuclear fallout, so it's meant to look a little bit yucky. So we will be starting with going strongly with the Militarum Green after I've shaken it up off camera a little bit. Doesn't matter if we're too untidy because again the silver goes over contrast super easy, any normal paint goes over contrast super easy, but we'll tidy up as necessary after that and then work on either the skulls or the base. We'll see. Let's get started. So that's the Militarum Green applied and left to dry again. Yes, it's splotchy in some places, but if it's where a normal paint is going to go, in this case lead belcher silver, it doesn't matter because the lead belcher silver will drown out the contrast, and then we're putting a wash on top of the silver anyway. I did have to clean up a little bit on the, I don't know what to call this, the tunic? Is he wearing a tunic? His dress, it's not quite a kilt because it's got metal on the front, not a sporran. But either way, I had to clean that up a little bit because that's going to be done in the next part and it is in contrast, so it had to be cleaned a little bit. Other than that, the next step is, I'm just checking whether or not he has metal on the front of that boot. I don't think he does, so I'm going to have to clean up the little bit of contrast green that's gone there first. But the next step is a mixture of all the browns. So, snakebite leather, wildwood. The snakebite leather is going to be done on the entirety of the guns because then silver is going to go over parts of them. On the helmet as well, the aviator goggles, the actual like glass parts will be done in normal paint afterwards. Wildwood will be used on the tunic / kilt, and then the skulls will probably have to get cleaned up afterwards before some skeletal horde goes on. And the back of this leg for sure, the front's got metal on it, but the back is just leather, so that'll be done in wildwood as well. And again, I don't think there's a metal protector on this foot, so all of that will be in wildwood. And then also wildwood on the planks of wood and snakebite leather on the dirt up here. So that's a big step. all of that getting done in the same time skip, which we're moving on to now. So we're checking in again with the 2 shades of brown done. Also, again, just used a little bit of grace here to tidy up a little bit. But again, the stuff that's getting done in silver, it doesn't matter because the silver overwrites, as I keep on saying, but I want to just reiterate that because it looks a bit messy in parts that are going to be coloured. Trust me. What I did go over though was the skulls, because they are going to be getting, as discussed, skeleton horde, skeletal horde. I always go between the two. It's skeleton horde. So that's going to be part of the final step for contrast, and also the basilicanum grey for the concrete on the base, and that will be the end of the contrast work on the model, but there'll still be some normal paint stuff to go over in the final section after that. If I forget rather to cover pardon me, cover anything in the video, feel free to ask in the comments. I just got done answering a bunch of questions about what paints were used where in the Black Panther video, for instance. I'll try and help where I can if I forget to mention something, but in this case I think I've covered everything. Those 2 getting used in the time skip, and then we'll discuss what I'll be doing with non-contrast for the finished miniature. Back in a minute. So still very wet, but this is the last check-in for the contrast. Obviously the grey has got a long way to go to dry, so it's going to have to sit here for a while while my dog licks my hand and distracts me. So all that's really left is lead belcher silver over all the parts that have been left. That's going to have to sit and dry. It's going to have to be done very carefully as well, so that's why I'd rather not do that on camera as well, even though it's by default not on camera usually because it's not contrast paint. Lead belcher is just a normal silver paint. But when that's all dried as well, it's going to get some Agrax Earthshade as a wash over the silver parts, the silver on the guns as well. Patience, Sora, I'm almost done. To make the metal look rusty and like you saw in the other Super Mutant as well. So, need to wait for this to dry, but then we'll be back with a fade in to a finished second Super Mutant with Aviator Cap. And so sometime later we have the finished Super Mutant for your perusal and assessment of whether or not it looks any good. The silver, the Agrax Earthshade applied as I said, and a little bit of just blue on the goggle part of the Aviator Cap that he wears, because apparently Super Mutants like those. You can find them in the game, so it's true to the source material. Let's go with the hashtag Gero360 spin, hopefully in focus as best I can tell. I have to speed through this a little bit, apologies, my dog is getting antsy because it's a certain meal time for both of us after I finish recording this. Yes, I know, you need to wait a second though. So that's what it's looking like, and we can put him next to the one that I did earlier as well. See, hopefully that they compare. I did another very, very light coating of the grey on the base just so it matched up, because I actually did it quite dark on this one, so I wanted it to look more apt. Put the fresher one in the actual light. I'm the boss now, even though the Brute is actually the boss. He's just a bog standard Super Mutant, but the Brute, he's one tier up, one below Master, I think. Either way, so that's 2 out of the 3 Super Mutants that you get in the Wasteland Warfare box done on camera. If you have any questions, again, I do answer the comments. I forget to mention stuff all the time. Did I even mention he was based in Gracier? Probably not. I didn't even go into my whole side story about base coating applying rather poorly to these Modifius models. I don't know why. Yes, I washed them in warm water first before spray painting them when they were fully dried. I don't know. There's just something odd about it, and if the base doesn't go on smoothly, then the contrast sometimes has trouble sticking. You can work around it. I did, but it is something to note that I haven't experienced with resin models from like Night Models or 40k ones either. It's just specifically these ones, which is a little odd. Either way though, I hope you enjoyed watching. There'll be more contrast paint videos come in the future, as well as battle reports for the various games we covered. There will be Wasteland Warfare stuff coming down the line. Not immediately, but at some point. Got to get the rest of the miniatures painted up as well, among other things to be done. If you would like to go above and beyond to show support, subscribing to know when videos go live is a big help for free. If you want to go even one step further, I do have a Patreon that supports both this tabletop gaming channel and the video gaming Twitch channel that I do live streams on 6 nights a week. Check that out as well if you're interested. Sincerely, thanks you. Thanks you? You can tell that it's lunchtime. Anyway, thank you for watching. Ta-ta for now.